Welcome back to the final week of the NFL season, week 18. It's been a long ride, but we're here. We're going to make our final game picks. Before getting into that, how was your New Year's, Lance? Did you enjoy it? Did you have fun?
Andrew, I fulfilled my promise. I stayed up till 12 a.m. and went shortly thereafter to bed. That's
Well,
that's what I did.
congratulations. You did more than we did.
Uh,
We probably went to bed at 10.
I was just thinking about it. Have you ever, give me a second. Have you ever seen that Star Wars Mandalorian meme for New Year's?
Maybe?
Oh, dude, it's one of my favorites. Um, I have to share it real quick just because of the fact how much I feel like I relate to it.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And 12 and 1 rolls around, and that's me, man. I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, let's get to bed. I'm tired. So it's just funny. But yeah. Anyway, I fulfilled my promise, and that was it. That was good. That's all I needed.
Yep.
I stayed up, rolled around to the new year. I'm gonna try my best to remember to write 2026 as opposed to 2025. It always takes me at least a month
Mm-hmm.
to stop making that mistake. But it was good, man.
Yep.
It was
Yep.
awesome. So, how about you guys? You said you went to bed early, but I mean, Timothy wouldn't know the difference. So it's like, what's the big deal?
Yeah, and we're all still dealing with this sickness, this guck. So, you know, whenever whenever he went to bed, we're like, yeah, we're just gonna go to bed too. So it was about 10 something like that. But we did bust into our sparkling cider, our little bubbly. So we did enjoy that a little bit. Um, but yeah, we didn't really do much else. We just hung out a little bit, try to recover, try to rest as much as we could. But it was good. It was good. The other thing I wanted to ask, because we didn't get a chance to talk about this last time, is how did you do in your fantasy seasons? How did you do fantasy this year?
Um, I did okay. This wasn't my best year overall, but I mean, we already talked a little bit about it on the previous podcast. The 16 team league, that was my best
Mm.
team. And Dallin stole my championship from me. Um,
You and him had
yeah.
a epic heavyweight fight.
The
Went down the
frustrating part
wire.
is that in the championship week, I did even better.
Mm.
So I would beat Dallin, I would beat everybody else in the league. It was just that one week that those flipping 4 points. That's all that separated
Mm-hmm.
me. But I came in
Mm-hmm.
third place. It's actually funny. So that team, so I was battling for third place, right? And my final player was the Rams defense, and halfway through they had only gotten like 6 points. So I thought I was going to lose, and so I was like, whatever. This is the fantasy football season I'm having. Is
Mm-hmm.
like I miss it by that much. All well, the Rams defense I thought for sure was going to continue to just have a bad game. But I guess somewhere in the third or fourth quarter they scored a touchdown, and so I ended up
It was a
getting
block
20.
kick.
Yeah, and it
It
was
was a
so funny
blocked kick.
because I totally missed
Mm-hmm.
it. I was so mad I was going to lose, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stop paying
Mm-hmm.
attention. This is so annoying that back-to-back weeks. So I came in third place. So that was a nice, I guess, consolation prize. And then every other league, I was like, I did okay, got in the playoffs in most of them, but one of them I ended up losing in one round. It was like 106.6 to 106.8 with the loss.
Oh,
And
oh.
that dude, that was just so obnoxious. So, but yeah, how about you?
I would say the same. So I was in 6 leagues this year. Um, I made the playoffs in all but one. And in 3 of those leagues, so I made the playoffs in five. 3 of them, I thought I had a legit shot. And um, one, I lost in the first round. I was like, oh, snap. And this wasn't even our league that we were in. Excuse me. This is a different league I'm in where my team was stacked. It's like, yeah, I'm probably making the title round. We'll see what happens. But I got bounced first round. It's like, oh, okay. That's how it goes sometimes. Other guy had the players that scored like 30 points. I was like, well, that's how it goes. Um, I made the championship round in 2 leagues. One league I got crushed in. wasn't even a game. The other guy had Bijan Robinson and uh, Brock Purdy from the past two nights, and they crushed it. Um, but I did come on top in our dynasty league that we're in. So I have one ring to show for it this year. And I'm happy about it because every year there's a couple leagues I focus the most on because I want to make sure I win that one. And that was one of them because I have not won that league yet. And so I was like, okay, I got it. I got the win in that one. I finally won the title in our dynasty league. But with that, I also got my very first last place finish. I've never finished last before.
Mm.
I've had really bad years. I'm not gonna say I've always been great, but I've never finished dead last. But I did that this year, and I was in my work league, which is ironic because most of the people don't really fully know how to play, and I finished dead last. Just how it
It's
goes sometimes.
it's funny because also in my work league I came in last. Um,
Oh, really?
but like it's not for lack of trying. So
Mm-hmm.
my problem was is I drafted Jamar Chase and AJ Brown,
Mm,
and they were my first and second pick, and I never recovered the value. They both never played up to the value that I needed to until it
mm-hmm.
was too late. Because Jamar Chase didn't really start playing good until like week 7 when they got Joe Flacco. Um,
Mm,
most of those weeks before that, he was scoring well below the points he was supposed to get. And I
mm-hmm.
could never make up the value. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was in a similar boat. My first picks were Justin Jefferson and who was my second pick? Um, oh, Brock Bowers. So, and
Mm,
Brock Bowers started
yeah.
playing well about halfway through the year, and Jefferson never really has gotten going this year. So, and then I think my third round pick was Trevion Henderson, who he also didn't start playing well till toward the second half of the year. And like you said, by that time it's too late.
Yeah. Well, unless the other team, part of your team's carrying you. If they're not, it's a big problem.
Hmm. Yep. Yep. And I had plenty of times where I lost by like 2 points, by 3 points, or something like that. And I was like, come on. Um, but yeah, it happens. All right. Should we dive into this?
Let's do it.
Okay. Man. Um, so I think I'm gonna have a little fun this week because I was looking at it in our pick'em league, you basically have place wrapped up. There's really nobody that's gonna catch you. But looking at it, between where I'm at in fourth and second, it's only separated by like 30 points. So I have a chance to climb all the way to second if I have a really good week and everyone else has an average week. So between second and fourth, it's very tight. But from second to first, there's a big gap, and from fourth to fifth, there's a pretty decent gap. So I could, if things bounce my way, I could go all the way up to second. So I decided to have some fun this week, not just going chalk because it never goes chalk. You have to pick where you're going to pick. So we had some fun this week. So let's start with possibly the two most important games on Saturday, Panthers Bucks and Seahawks 49ers. I mean, those could be the two most important games of the year out or of the week outside of the Ravens Steelers. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun Saturday football game. Starting with Panthers at Bucks. Um, both teams coming off disappointing losses. At least for the Panthers, they played a really good team, which we touched on. Um, do we truly believe in this Panthers team if they make the playoffs? They have a good chance to because they have to, in order for them to miss the playoffs, they have to lose and the Falcons have to lose. Um, but if they make it, are they really on the level of the other teams? Because they just played Seattle and they got crushed. It wasn't even close. Would they compete with Seattle? Would they compete with a Green Bay? Would they compete with an LA Rams? I don't think they would. And that's who they would play first. Though they probably play Seattle first round or the 49ers. That's who they would get. Would they compete with any one of those teams? No. They would probably get killed. Same with the Bucks. If the Bucks somehow miraculously got in the playoffs, they probably wouldn't really compete with those teams either. So it's kind of not super exciting to see either one of these teams in the playoffs because they have talent, but it's just not meshing enough. It's just, I don't know, something's missing. I don't know if that's coaching, if it's quarterback play, I don't know. But Panthers got crushed by the Seahawks. Um, Rico Dowdle's been playing awesome though. He has over 1,000 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns. You would know on your fantasy team because you picked him up and he was playing really well for you for a while. Um, Actually, no, you had Hubbard, didn't you?
Mhm.
You had Hubbard.
So
So,
that's what I would know, Andrew. It wasn't a good thing.
yeah, yeah. And Bryce Young's been playing fine. Not great, but fine. And Ted McMillan has been the best rookie receiver this year. I got to give myself a pat on the back for that because I was high on him in fantasy drafts this year, and he was the best rookie receiver. And the Panthers defense has been playing fine. Not great, but fine. And then going to the Buccaneers, they'd have a much better record if Baker Mayfield could play better. That's pretty much all it comes down to. He's been throwing some very bad. He only has 10 interceptions, which isn't like an insanely high amount. It's not good, but it's not insanely bad. Um, but it's the timing of those interceptions. He's thrown some very bad ones at the worst time. When you're driving to go try to take the lead, pick. When you have the lead and you're trying to keep the lead before the other team can get the ball back, pick. It's just really bad. And the coach is throwing him under the bus, saying that we need to have better quarterback play. And for some reason, it sounds like he's going to be back. Bowles is probably going to be back next year. I don't know. If my coach is throwing players under the bus, I probably don't fully like that, especially to the media. Now, inside the locker room, absolutely. Call people out that need to be called out. But to the media, I don't
One
know.
one thing I think is important to point out, Andrew, is he has 8 interceptions in the past 7 games.
Yeah,
That's awful.
yeah, yeah,
That could not be much worse,
yeah.
unless you're trying to get into Geno Smith territory.
Which no one wants to be in that territory.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And he had 2 against the Dolphins. Like, what is going on?
Yep. And the one I remember vividly is the one against the Falcons when the Buccaneers had the lead and the ball in the fourth quarter. They had it under control, and then he throws a really dumb throw to the left side of the field that gets picked off, and the Falcons go score to take the lead. And then the Buccaneers couldn't take it back. It was just really
Well,
bad.
and just for context, Geno Smith has 7 interceptions in the past 8 games. So that's
Yep.
wild, man. Like you should
Yep.
not want to be in his company. Uh,
Nope.
Crazy.
Especially with the receivers that he has to throw to in Mike
Great
Evans,
point.
in Godwin, in I mean McMillan's back for them. I think it's Jalen McMillan, and Igbuka. They're all there. He has all his weapons healthy, all of them, and he keeps making these bad mistakes. Um, but with saying all that, I know where you're going, so I went opposite. I'm going Bucks. I'm having some fun, but it's not like I'm saying they're definitely going to win. I have Bucks with a confidence of one. I'm only going one here because I do not believe in the Bucks. I don't really believe in the Panthers either, but I want chaos. I want drama. So I'm going Bucks, and you're going to see a trend going for it. So I'm going Bucks to win this game with a confidence of one.
Um, but a totally different reason why I'm going for the Panthers than you are thinking. It's not because I like the Panthers to win this game. It's because of this. I think there's one change that the NFL needs to make. It's a very simple change, and I don't think it would be unfair. You have the right to win your division and get in the playoffs if you have a winning record. If you don't have a winning
Hmm,
record, that right gets revoked. I think that would be a very simple change, a very fair
that's
change.
fair.
I know that there's people are talking about that it should change up based off of what your wins are. I could see that to some degree, but then you start getting into the game of, well, do the Eagles get to host a home game, even though they have an 11-5 record right now, or are they going to have to go visit the Rams? That part I don't really love. I think if you have a
Yeah.
double digit record, it doesn't really matter to me like as much where you finish. If you have a losing record, though, I think it's far more justifiable to say, hey, that's really annoying. You should not get a home game. Um,
Hmm.
so I'm on team winning record, which is what would happen if the Carolina Panthers win this game. If the Carolina Panthers
Hmm.
don't win this game, you have the humiliation of an 8-9 team being the host team in the playoffs. And I know it's
Yeah,
kind of
that's
dumb
true.
because you're saying your difference is 9-8 versus 8-9. Well, yeah, that's true. But that whole mental thing of visiting a losing team, I think, is
Hmm.
even worse than a team that's 9-8.
I hear you. That
Um,
makes a lot of sense.
so I do think the Panthers find a way to win. Um, I know they're on the road, but the the Buccaneers are playing their worst football right now.
Hmm.
I don't think the Panthers are playing their worst football. Did they play great against the Seahawks? No, I would tell you that. I wouldn't tell you that they were a lights out amazing, but it was a kind of game for part of the game. Like it wasn't like the Seahawks had it wrapped up. They didn't have to compete, didn't have to try. Um, they didn't win it. They should have played better. Um, so I think they find a way to win it. Um, and also one other thing I want to say. Um, I hope no Buccaneers fans cry if they beat the Falcon or beat the Buccaneer Panthers and the Falcons still find a way to win because that would be such a loser mentality.
Yeah.
You don't get the right to cry. Like, let me give an example of loser mentality. This week there's been the college football playoffs. I don't know if you've paid attention at all, Andrew,
Hmm.
but I've watched the games. But the narrative that's come out from these games that, well, they're getting too long of a bye and that's affecting their play for these teams that have been the bye team. What a crybaby argument. Um, I don't want to hear it. You spent the entire season trying to get one of the top seeds to get a bye for your team to get healthy. And now because it didn't go the way you wanted to, you're crying about it. Like it's just such a
Hmm.
spilt milk situation. Like it's just loser energy. And if you watch the Indiana and Georgia game, those games were decided because either team got a slow start. Like it's just absurd, man. You just weren't ready. You didn't do your job as a coach
Hmm.
getting your team ready. So anyway, all that to say, if the Buccaneers win and they still don't win a division, don't give it any spilt milk energy. I don't have time for it.
For sure. For sure. The Buccaneers had they controlled their own destiny for the past 4 weeks and they lost all those games.
Right?
So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't beat the Falcons. You could beat the Dolphins, man. Like that's like
Yeah, that's the biggest one. Yeah. You
that
couldn't
is
beat Quinn
so
Ewers.
embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. Um,
Hmm.
but I mean, I understand where you're coming from on Todd Bowles. I just think when you look at a team and if you're coming in as a coach, the area that I think you could clean up the fastest potentially is turnovers. That should be
Yeah.
the area that you could take care of the quickest. Um, and so I put more blame on Baker Mayfield for their struggles. I mean, throwing two interceptions is just, dude, they're backbreakers. It just nothing deflates your team more than giving up a turnover. Like I know it sounds stupid, but I thought about this. Even if it's a 4th and 10 and you've got a throw attempt and you're chucking it down the field, unless it's like a 70-yard throw where they're ending up back on like their own 20, it that interception is more deflating than giving the ball up. Like it just like it's not even to me, I feel like it's more deflating because it's like, dude, we can't even complete a pass. We can't even like make a good attempt on this 4th down. They've shut us down so much that we just whenever we throw it, it's just going to their defenders. So I just going into this game, I feel better about the Panthers. We'll see what happens. I did a confidence of 4, but that's probably because of
Okay.
other games. I'm not super confident. There's just games
Hmm.
I'm less confident in.
Yeah. And I do agree with you. It's Baker has been the reason why they're losing. My point with Todd Bowles is you don't need to like outwardly def like degrade him to the media, like saying he is the problem. The coach is supposed to take the brunt of the blame, say, hey, it starts with me. We got to fix this, but I'm the head coach. It starts with me. That's the way to me things should like that go. But he's not supposed to say, yeah, our players are playing bad. Okay, well, yes, but whose fault is that? It's the head coach. He should
Right.
have their players ready. That's the point I was getting at with Todd Bowles
Yeah.
and him still sound like he's going to be back. Okay, he is a good coach, but I just don't like the whole in front of the media throwing guys under the bus kind of thing. Even though it is true, their losses are pretty much all on Baker.
Well, I mean, the hard part is how much is Baker accepting it? I mean, really, how much is he really accepting and owning these mistakes? I don't know. I'm not saying that he isn't.
Yeah.
I just Carson Wentz. I've always said this about Carson. He's had all the potential in his career. He just never really took ownership. And what do I mean by taking ownership? It's not just saying it's your fault. It's admitting to yourself that unless something changes, you won't win. And that's my question for Baker right now. Okay, what are you going to do different? What are you going to do so you could stop throwing these dumb interceptions? I mean,
Hmm.
like I said, they're not just interceptions; they're dumb interceptions. You're just not
Yep.
thinking straight. Um, and I don't know. I just these past. I mean, that sample size I just read out, you're not seeing that example. You're not seeing that getting wiser and how you're handling the football. The Eagles Bills game on Sunday. Eagles reporters talked about it. Not many other people did, and I think it's worth mentioning. Who had the turnover? Josh Allen. Who had no turnovers? Jalen Hurts. Who won the game? Like it really can be that simple. Don't turn
Hmm.
over the football, and good things can potentially happen.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, the data definitely points to if you win the turnover battle, much higher chance of winning. And if you lose the turnover battle, you have a
Yeah,
high hill to climb. So,
yeah,
yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's get to the Saturday night game. Seahawks at 49ers. This gonna be a lot of fun. This might be the best game of the week right here. Um, Seahawks have the better record. They have a great defense. Um, Defense is playing great. Ken Walker's run the ball pretty decently, and JSN, I feel bad for him because he was on track to crush that record. And then since that, I'm not saying it's because of this, but since that Vikings game, when we kind of almost in a way shut him down, he hasn't really had big games since then. He's had some solid games. I'm not gonna say he's been like shut out, but since that game, his trajectory of breaking that record just died. And I mean, he's still probably in like stats wise the best receiver in the league this year, but the record he has no chance of. And I feel bad for him because that would have been exciting. But it also has to do with quarterback play because of late, Sam Darnold hasn't been great. He hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been this MVP candidate that people thought he was at the beginning of the year. 25 touchdowns, 14 picks. That's not great. That's not even a 2-to-1 ratio. That's less than 2-to-1 ratio. You want that higher. He has 3,850 yards passing. That's fine, but he's probably barely going to break 4,000. I mean, he has to throw for 250 or 150, so I mean, he'll break 4,000, but it's not a not an awesome year for Donald. Not bad, but not awesome. It's mainly the defense that's been carrying this team of late. Defense is playing really well. They got a lot of good players. And now they're going against the 49ers offense that is humming better than any offense in the league right now, outside of maybe the Jaguars, which is wild. But this 49ers offense is playing so good, and sounds like they're getting Kittle back this week. It sounds like Trent Williams is probably going to play as well. That one's not official yet, but he should play. McCaffrey was a little banged up in practice, but I think he's going to play as well. And he's been awesome. He's been their whole offense. If JSN is the Seahawks offense, then Christian McCaffrey is that times two for the 49ers. He is everything for them. And he's just been phenomenal. I mean, 1,179 rushing yards and 10 rushing touchdowns. That doesn't count his receiving stats, which is insane as well. This is at San Francisco. This is going to be a fun game. I'm going to go 49ers here. I think they have the momentum. They're playing better, and I've harped on this fact for a long time, but I do not believe in Sam Darnold in a big game moments. And I think this game is going to have a few of those big game moments where he's going to have to rise above those situations. Give him credit. He did that against the Rams a couple weeks ago. That was awesome. He came in clutch when he needed to, and he won that game. Well done, Sam. But I still don't think he can do that again. So I'm going 49ers. I have this as a confidence of 5. You're muted.
My goodness. Sorry. Um, I went back and forth. I'm going to go Seahawks by one. And
Okay.
it's tough for me because I really do think that there's parts of the 49ers that look unstoppable. And we've talked about Sam Darnold. We've talked about his frustrations.
Hmm.
A couple things that make me feel the way I do. One, I do think I wouldn't say it's just Walker. Charbonnet is an important
Yeah.
one. He's an important two to the 1-2 punch in Seattle. Walker and Charbonnet play well off of each other, and I think that they've gotten rolling a little bit lately, which is helpful. That's another thing against Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey is absolutely the better back. That's not a factor in my head, but I combine that, and then um, we've talked about this about JSN and how I've insisted that if he gets shut down, what's going to happen? Well, I think that the Seahawks answer has been AJ Barner, and AJ Barner has been an outstanding tight end. I've talked
Hmm.
about this with a friend of mine that's a huge Seahawks fan, but I think he has the potential to be a top five tight end next year. I mean, he's certainly capable of it. Um, but let's get best here. Yeah, for the past 5 games, he's gotten over 3 receptions. I mean, critical receptions in the sense that he's averaging over 10 yards a reception. Like the past two was 14 and 13. And yeah, maybe that's not impressive, but there's 2 touchdowns along the way with that. AJ Brown has been a really good person for them in terms of just critical pickup points for the team. Um, I do wonder what's going to happen um, with Cooper Cup because
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like he's vastly underperformed that contract. 564 yards
Hmm.
catching is just it's just not good enough for how much you're getting
Yep.
paid. That should be like higher, 800, 900
Much
yards.
higher.
There's a couple of catches I've seen over the past few weeks that I just thought, well, not catches that were really a big deal. So we'll see if that becomes a problem.
Hmm.
But I feel like AJ Barner has been a decent number 2 option for Sam Darnold. If AJ Barner continues to keep going and he continues to be a reliable target, which he was in that Rams game, it was a really big factor in terms of the Seahawks being able to beat the Rams. This I guess this all to say the 49ers defense feels gettable. They're not strong.
Absolutely.
They don't
Yeah.
have a lot of great players on that side. And that's not to say they
Hmm.
didn't start out with great players. Those injuries have really
Injuries. Yeah.
pass to the team. They don't have a major edge rush right now. Bryce Huff, literally on the broadcast, I had to smile because they said Bryce Huff was their best pass rusher, which was wildly ironic to me because of the fact that Bryce Huff was not good enough on the Eagles to stay on the Eagles, but is good enough to be mentioned on the broadcast. I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he's having a better or better success this year with
Well,
this.
the only reason he's the best on the team is because he's all they have left.
Right, right. I mean, but he has 4 sacks, so it's not anything wowing. And his last sack
Hmm.
came in October. That is rough. Um,
Yeah.
so I guess I'm just saying that because you look at that Vikings Lions game last year. The Lions, even with all their injuries, I would say it was a better defense in that moment than this 49ers
Mm.
defense is in this moment. So I combine that, you combine the offensive answers. I think the Seahawks have just enough to edge out a victory. So I've got it with a confidence of one, not very confident, but
Okay.
I don't know. The 49ers offense is impressive. I was wildly impressed by Brock Purdy. He had a great game. But after that pick
Hmm.
six, which wasn't even his fault, um,
Hmm.
he looked good. McCaffrey's a great talent. The one other part I do wonder about, this again just comes down to who has the better horses, wide receivers for the 49ers. Um, I'd say that Seahawks secondary is very, very good. Can
Hmm.
Pearsall or Jawan Jennings continue to make an impact? And what's Kittle's health situation? I haven't really heard. My understanding is he's going to play, but how much is that injury going to bother him?
Hmm.
So we'll see. I get why you picked him. It could totally go that way. I mean, I've got a 1 confidence, so I'm not very confident at all.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's going to be a fun game. Winner gets the 1 seat, basically. So,
Hmm.
and the loser gets the 5 seed. So like you said, it's just like the NFC North battle last year. And ironically, Sam Darnold's in the same situation, and I've seen this story before. But we'll move on. We'll move on to Saints at Falcons, and like I said, you're going to see a trend here. But starting with the Saints, we had a little discussion in our chat about the Saints and possibly trading for Tanner McKee in the offseason, which I hear your reasonings because Tanner McKee is going to showcase a little bit more in this week's game. We'll talk about that here later. And Kellen Moore has experience with him being on the staff last year. But I kind of like what I've seen from Tyler Shook, especially of late. He started off kind of difficult. He only has 9 touchdowns, 5 picks. It's not great, but he's a rookie that's getting used to things. For the past few games, he's won the games. He's looked good. He's gotten the ball out where he needs to. And I personally believe that he should be given a full year next year before they look at replacing him because young quarterbacks just need development. Look at so many examples like the Baker Mayfields, even though he's been struggling of late, he was cast off as a bust. Now he's probably considered a top 10 quarterback, at least top 12 in that range. Sam Darnold, he was cast off as a bust. Same thing. Now he's like a top 10, top 12 quarterback. Outside of this past year, Geno Smith, before this year, he looked pretty good, even though he was cast off as a bust. You can't really give up on guys too soon. You have to develop them. And I believe Kellen Moore is that kind of offensive mind that can develop Tyler Shook if he gives him some time. So I believe in Tyler Shook. I think he's been looking good enough. I hope the Saints feel the same thing. But hey, if Kellen Moore says no, I want McKee. He's my guy. Okay, I get it. That's what Kellen Moore wants. Um, but Saints have been playing pretty well overall. They are going to be missing Chris Olave though, because he has a blood clot in his lungs, which is scary. But he's going to be out this game, so that is going to be a big miss for them because he's their best offensive player. They're already missing like most of the running game. Most of the running backs are out. Now they're missing the best receiver, so it's basically going to be all on Tyler Shook's hands. And the Saints defense has to try to contain Bijan Robinson. They have to try to contain Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and Kirk Cousins has been playing really well of late, actually, which of course has all of this storylines from Minnesota media. Is he coming back to Minnesota next year? Because he has like a 56 million cap hit for the Falcons that they're not going to pay him. So they're probably going to cut him. Do we get him back? I'll say this. The only reason why I would think about taking Kirk Cousins back is if he understands he is the backup and it's on a decent deal like 10 to 15 million range. If that's the case, absolutely. I would love that. He could be our backup because McCarthy has shown he gets hurt. He's injury prone. Maybe Kirk can teach him a couple things because Kirk's been in the league forever and he knows that Kevin O'Connell's system pretty well. That I'd be okay with. Outside of that, no. If he's getting the starting job with McCarthy, no. If we're going to have to pay him that contract he currently has, no. Absolutely not. That's what I'll say with that. But going back to this game, like I said, I'm feeling crazy. I'm going Saints with a confidence of 3. I have the Bucks winning the division, baby. I'm riding with them. I've been riding with them all year, so I have the Bucks winning and I have the Saints winning, so the Bucks win the division. Let's go. Let's go, Bakerneers. Let's win this division.
I'm going Falcons with a confidence of 5. Um, I do see where you're coming from as far as on the Saints. Um, this is the question I'd ask the Saints. Do you believe who you're looking at is more going to have a trajectory of like Jalen Hurts or Desmond Ritter? Um, because if you think that Shook is going to pan out like Desmond Ritter, you can't afford to continue to not have another quarterback option in New Orleans. If you think that this person could become more like a Jalen Hurts, where, because agreed, I get it. It's the first season. It was the same thing with Jalen Hurts. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't outstanding, but there was development and growth. And
Hmm.
because let's see here, yeah, in 2020 he was 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Not great, not great. Um, if Shook can hit another level, I could see it. The part that I think is tough about what you're saying is the Saints' opponents these past few weeks have been bad. They've not been great opponents. So I do think that that's part of the evaluation process. You have to factor into your head that, you know, these teams won't always be this bad. Um, can they really rise up to the level and play better? Maybe. But that's where I was saying I think the Tanner McKee trade could make sense. Because if you only trade like a second round pick or a third round pick, it's different than if you brought in a first round pick quarterback. You'd have to give up on Shook. There's no path. If you bring in someone that's a veteran and you're bringing him in to compete, I think you could justify, hey, we're not paying him, a crazy amount of money. We're paying him enough to be a respectable backup. Um, and that gives Shook a chance to compete. Whereas if you get a first round quarterback, it's over. You have to commit to that quarterback. Um, I think even drafting a second round quarterback is different than trading for a quarterback, um, just because of the fact that you're tied to that contract and the rookie contract. And maybe I'm talking myself into something that won't happen. It's possible. Maybe McKee doesn't go there. I just feel like McKee and Moore would be a really good pairing, and that Saints
Yeah.
offense you could hit a level you're not seeing. Like I feel like the Shook's doing just enough for the Saints offense, but the Saints are not winning in incredible fashion. They're not winning games like whoa. I mean, I guess the
Hmm.
Titans game I'll give you, but even still, that was 34-26. It was a better score, but they let the Titans back in at the end to make it look more respectable. You did have that huge Jets victory. I don't know, but you also lost to the Dolphins. Like that's so weird to me, man. I don't understand the Dolphins at all this year. Um, but I'm gonna pick the Falcons. I think Kirk Cousins has done enough to get the respectable
Hmm.
top of the or tip of the hat he deserves. So we can go ahead and move on, Andrew. We got plenty of other games to cover.
Yes. And I think the next handful we can probably just kind of zoom through because the next game on here is Browns Bengals. Who cares? This
Bengals.
is this is the game that
Bengals confidence of six for
wait,
me,
what
Andrew.
hey, I have the exact same thing. Bengals confidence of six. And what were these nicknames again? The
Oh, the
Bungles and
Cincinnati Bungles.
mm-hmm. And what were the
Yep. The
Browns? The
let's look that up.
Frowns?
The Cleveland Frowns. Listen, man,
Yeah.
it's the
Yeah,
it's the AF it's the AFC North. So
yeah.
anything can happen in a division that's almost the right name and almost the right talent.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and I have the Bungles with a confidence of six as well.
Oh,
Joe
I
Burrow
love
will
it.
win the game.
I can't wait to talk about the Stumblers and Quavens.
Yep. Yep. All right. Next up, again, game that has no meaning or matter. Cowboys at Giants. I'm going Dak Prescott. I'm going Cowboys with a confidence of seven.
I got the Cowboys confidence of nine. Um, I honestly I don't understand why the Cowboys are going to try to win this game. I don't understand it. I don't know why Dak Prescott's playing, but that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So
They're stubborn.
congrats. Hey, congrats to the Cowboys on truly getting the epitome of 500, 8-1.
There you go. There you go.
What a huge accomplishment for that franchise.
And I have something to talk about with Dak Prescott later. Um, we'll get to that. But next game, again, a game we'd probably don't have to spend a lot of time on. Titans at Jaguars. Jaguars still fighting for that possible one seed. And I was looking at this and just this great job by the schedulers, but um, they play early and the Broncos play the afternoon game. So the Jaguars have
Mm,
to make sure they win this game. So they're going to play their starters. They're going to be wanting to win because they have a shot at that one seed still. They need the Broncos to lose, and the Broncos are playing. Are they playing the Chargers, I believe? And the Chargers are resting Herbert. I think that's right.
mhm.
I think that's right.
Correct.
Yeah, and they're resting Herbert. So, I mean, they have a high chance of winning, but still, they're not guaranteed in this league. So the Jaguars are going to play their best. I have the Jaguars winning, and I have this as my confidence of 15.
This is my most confident game. I
This is your
just think the
16. Yep.
Titans are that bad and
Mm-hmm.
the Jaguars have played overall that good.
Yep.
And hey, they're doing without
Yep.
Travis
Yep.
Hunter. So,
There you
maybe you didn't have
go.
to draft that guy. Maybe you could have just stuck with Parker Washington. Go ahead, Parker Washington. Have another great game for me so I can just reflect on how dumb I was for not starting you in my matchup against Dallin. Makes me feel so much better.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. Next up, Colts at Texans. So the Colts starting Riley Leonard, I think. I think Philip Rivers
Yeah.
re-retired, which is kind of hilarious. And and for the Texans, still, I think they're still technically available to win the division if the Jaguars lose
Yep.
somehow and then the Texans win and they're playing at the same time. So again, Texans actually stuff they're playing for, and they could still maybe adjust some wild card seating as well. So they're going to be playing their hardest. Their defense is going to be just ready to go, wreck and shop. I have the Texans winning with a confidence of 13. I don't think this is going to be technically that close.
This is my confidence of 15 game, Andrew. And I've got nothing else to add. It just um Shane Steichen, welcome home to Philly.
That's a
I
very good possibility.
I predict that they're gonna have a losing record and I don't know. The only way he comes back is if they talk themselves into saying Daniel Jones's injury changed the season. And I think if you
Hmm.
do, I think you're buying into fool's gold. There were
Yeah,
problems before Daniel Jones um
yeah,
went down.
for sure.
Maybe they could have righted the ship, but yeah, I'm not confident in the projection of that team, and they don't have a
You know
first
what's
round pick next
interesting?
year.
What if they try to get Tanner McKee?
If Steichen stays there, that is a very. But what do you trade? You're really going to give up a second round pick on top of a first round pick? Because the Eagles are going to put him over a barrel. They will not give a discount. They will
Hmm.
expect a good price. There will be a market for Tanner McKee this offseason, and the Eagles are going to have some decisions to make. But I like it. It would be a good move on the Colts' part. We'll see if they're
Hmm.
willing to invest in that move.
I feel better for the Colts doing that than the Saints because the Saints have a young quarterback that they could develop. The Colts have what they have.
I
They
mean, come
know
on.
what you
There's
have.
Anthony Richardson, Andrew. You're like, come on.
The Colts have what they have. Now, like you said, they don't have a first round pick, and if they give up their second as well, they better be sure they're one quarterback away because Daniel Jones isn't coming back till at least mid-season next year, and that's at least. So
Man, I'm curious if the second round pick's going to even do it. I just feel like the Eagles could totally be like, no, we want like second and fifth, or I don't know.
I don't think they should get too greedy.
I mean, I agree with you, but I just we'll see. Let's see what happens. Let's see how Tanner McKee plays on Sunday because that's going to
Yes,
be a
if he
big
balls
factor.
out, yes. If he is fine, then yeah, that'll definitely change things. All right, let's move on to Jets at Bills.
Bills.
Josh Allen is sitting this game, so it could be more competitive. No, yeah, I'm going Bills as well. I'm going Bills with a confidence of only 11 because Allen's sitting this game. So is it who is their backup? I honestly don't
I think
remember.
that that's Mitch Trubisky.
I was thinking that was still the case, but I wasn't for sure. But it's the Jets. If this was like the Dolphins or something, I'd be like, hey, this could be an upset pick, but it's the Jets. So yeah, I got Bills of confidence of 11.
I've got them at 13. So yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Next game, Lions at Bears. This one is going to be at least more fun than the past like five we've talked about. Um, of course, Lions are eliminated from the playoffs, because of a certain purple team that, shut them down.
Jerks.
Um, right, right. And the Bears coming off that really tough, just fun, amazing, awesome game against the 49ers. That was just a ton of fun. I think that was Sunday Night Football, I believe, this past
Hmm.
weekend. So that was a lot of fun. The Lions played on Christmas, so they've had a long break. They have nothing to play for, but you know that Dan Campbell would love to beat his old OC twice in a year. He already beat him beginning of the year. He would love to beat him twice. The Lions have a good offense, but their defense has been awful. So I think this is going to be a shootout. And the over-under is 50 and a half, and I would probably go over on that. I think this could be easy, like almost similar to that 49ers Bears game on Sunday, where it's like a 40 to 38 final, something crazy, insane score where both offenses are just humming. The Bears have been losing some offensive pieces though, like Luther Burden got hurt. Um, I think there might have been somebody else. I'm not sure who it was. But they still have two good tight ends. They still have DJ Moore, and Caleb Williams is still playing really, really well. But I just want to have fun this week. I'm going Lions. I think I'm gonna have them going out on top at the end of the year. I have Lions with a confidence of 4.
Dude, you're such a jerk.
Oh boy, did you have the same thing?
I have the Lions of confidence at 2. I felt so excited because I was like, Andrew's not going to pick the Lions.
I felt the same way. I was like, yeah, he's going Bears. I'm sure he is.
Such a jerk. Well, okay. You want to know something interesting? Let's do something interesting, Andrew. What's Dan Campbell's record the last 4 years in the last week of the regular season?
Well, I know for two specifically, last year he won, and in the first year he won against the Packers to eliminate them. So I'm guessing it's 4-0.
Yeah. And that one you're talking about the Packers is actually his second season.
Oh, that was the second season? Okay.
Yeah. But he did beat the Packers in his first season. So um I sense I sense this is much like the Vikings with JJ McCarthy and playing good against the Cowboys and trying to finish out the year well. I feel like you're worried not so much about your draft capital, you're worried about the credits you have with your team. And
Hmm.
it's the trajectory going into the offseason. And I think
Absolutely.
trajectory matters for certain teams. Um, like the Panthers, I think you're worried about trajectory.
Mm.
Buccaneers, I don't know if trajectory is the right word. I feel like they're trying to survive. But this Lions team is a good trajectory candidate where you're legitimately worried about, do I have control of this team? Do they believe in me? Are they confident in me? And so
Hmm.
I know we've talked about Ben Johnson. I know we've talked about he could have a really good game plan and shut down the Lions. And this is not because the Eagles need the Lions to win. That's not my part of my thinking here. I just think Dan Campbell will be extra fired up. And the other part too
Hmm.
is it's all mental. If the Lions get another win, they finish with a winning record. And that is a much better feeling as a coach than if you have a losing record. Going into the
Yeah.
offseason saying, hey, we just had a couple bad breaks, um, I think is very encouraging. And also, I know that Jared Goff had a bad game against the Vikings. I'm not blind, but I've also seen Jared Goff have good games. And I think this
Hmm.
could be a game where he has a better game. We'll see. And that's not to say the Bears are a bad team. This is not who I would have wanted if I was the Bears. I would have wanted the Packers in the last week of the regular season right now. The
Hmm.
Packers, dude, I wish we could flip the Packers and Lions right now for the playoffs because I think the Lions would be playing way better in the playoffs than the Packers are. I don't know. I think that the Packers could be okay, but by the way, Matt LaFleur, I just want you to know you do have permission to get above the seventh seed in the playoffs. That is not something that you're like the heir to or knighted to for like the rest of your time as
Hmm.
coach. You guys can get above the seventh seed. Um, we'll see if they do. I'm not trying to be mean when I say that. I cannot believe for 3 years that they have been the seventh
Hmm.
seed. What a weird
Yep.
accomplishment.
Yep. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Yeah, yeah. I guess we're in lockstep on that one mostly. That's interesting. Um,
It's unfortunate.
yeah, yeah. Next up is the Chargers at Broncos. Um, I think so. This over under, I mean, this spread is Denver's favored by 12 and a half. I
Mm,
kind of think this is a sneaky, maybe upset-ish alert because everyone's already counting Trey Lance out. They're already
really?
saying he's out. I haven't been super impressed with the Broncos of late. They've been
Trey
winning.
Lance. We're talking about Trey Lance.
Yes, yes, but we're
You
also
have
talking
looked
about
into stats before we
Harbaugh.
talked about this game,
We're also
right?
talking about Harbaugh, and he gets his team ready and prepared. I'm not picking the Chargers to win. I'm going to spoil that. I'm picking the Broncos to win. But this 12 and a half spread, I think, is too high. I think the Chargers are going to be competitive in this game.
Okay, so they
I
could
think this is
cover.
going to be.
That's what you're saying. They could cover. You're not saying they're going to win. They could
No, I'm not
cover.
saying the Chargers are going to win. I'm saying this is be competitive. I'm saying the Broncos have to make sure they come to play because this isn't going to be a walk in the park like everyone's expecting it to be. This is going to be a good, competitive, division, feisty, down to the wire kind of a game where the Broncos probably get like a 9, 10 point lead at the very end, kick a field goal to go up 2 scores kind of a thing. but it's going to be tight going into that like last possession. I do have the Broncos winning because they are the better team. I have it a confidence of 9 because again,
Mm.
I feel like the Chargers are going to compete. They're going to fight. They're going to be feisty. The Broncos' weakness is their run defense, and the Chargers are going to run the ball a ton. Martin Hampton, Vidal, they're going to be running up the middle. They're going to run down the throat. Trey Lance is probably going to run on some read option stuff. Um, Now, if tries to throw the ball, that's bad for the Chargers. But I don't know, man. Chargers have a good defense. They have a good run game. This is going to be a competitive game. But I do have their home team winning, the better team winning, but only a confidence of 9.
Mm. I'm gonna go 14. And I've got nothing more to add because I think that you are overestimating Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance is one of the most underwhelming backup quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
Interesting. Okay. We'll see what Harbaugh can do with them.
We will see. I don't know. I feel like that's like trying to get a car with four flat tires moving.
That's a
So,
that's a funny comparison there. All right, next up, Raiders are going to lose to get that first round, that number one pick against the Chiefs. So they're not going to compete. So I have the Chiefs with confidence of 10. Even though the Chiefs are not rolling out a quarterback that we know the name of, they're going to win because the Raiders are going to
Oladikin,
make sure. Yeah, that guy. Yes, the Raiders are going to make sure they
did
lose.
you
They're going to
did you
shut down Max
watch
Crosby.
did you watch that Broncos Chiefs game?
Not all of it, no.
This is a hot take. I loved him. I think he's got something there. Like I
Yeah.
watched him and I was like, whoa, there might be something this guy has. So uh
And to my Broncos take, that Chiefs Broncos game was very competitive to the end, and it shouldn't have been.
well,
This is more the Broncos having to play in as well as they should have.
no, I mean, come on, man. You had to have watched Oladikin. Oladikin had some incredible throws. Like they were very like we joked about it with my in-laws that he looked like Patrick Mahomes in some instances.
Mm.
You gotta give
Okay.
some credit. I, I did not expect Oladikin to play that good. I did not.
Hmm.
I did not think he would. And watching him, I was like, whoa, like this guy might be. So I'm just saying, look out. You might be impressed on Sunday, or maybe you'll think this is the Raiders. Come on, Lance, that's not that big of a deal.
Maybe we'll see. And I mean, I think it's funny that the Raiders shut down Max Crosby because of his knee issues, and then he posts stuff on like social media that he's jumping on his trampoline with his kids, having fun. It's just
Did you
so
watch
funny.
that Instagram reel I sent everybody?
Which one?
It was about like the Raiders GM being like, "Man, can't believe we're gonna have to shut you down, Max." And Max is like, "Well, I'm fine. Like, what are you talking about?" Or
Hmm.
no, actually, what happened was is they were like, "Hey, Max, we're not gonna suit you up this Sunday. We just want to take it easy. We want you to be okay." And he's like, well, "No, like I'm good." And they're like, "Man, can't believe this. This leg injury's become such a problem. We're just gonna have to put you on the injury report and say that you're gonna be listed out." And then they like go back and forth to finally they tell Max that he's been IR'd and he can just go home. And it's so funny because then Geno Smith comes in the room and he's like, "Well, hey, if we're trying to get that number one pick, you can just go ahead and rest me too." And then the GM's like, "Whoa, wait a minute. No, we need you to play. Like you're going to play a pivotal role." Poor Geno helping out in a way that you would typically not want to help.
Hmm. And hey, we were both way wrong on the Raiders. Um,
I know.
I thought they'd be competitive to where they might have be flirting with the playoff seed. I didn't think they'd make the playoffs, but I thought they'd be like close to 500 in that range. And whew, they beat the Patriots week 1.
They sure did.
Congratulations.
So all I will say about that is Ashton Genty was who I thought he would be.
Mm,
I still think he's an outstanding player with so much potential. He just he was trying to carry a team that did not want to be lifted. Um,
yeah,
and so what I'll say is that when Mendoza gets paired with Genty, which I think most of us predict will happen, that will be
it's gonna be
interesting to watch
interesting
because
because
it
they'll
could
have
be,
Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, if they
and
get a
then I'll have no one else to
receiver.
throw to. So we'll see how that goes. Um,
Yep.
Man, I'm so bummed that Jacoby Myers left. I really wanted to see Jacoby Myers, Genty, and Brock
Hmm.
Bowers all compete and play well together, but it
Yeah.
just didn't work out. I don't think I
Yeah.
listed my confidence for this game, Andrew. I got the Chiefs with a confidence of 10.
Hey, we're in lockstep on that one.
Oh, I just think that the Raiders, man, they're checked out. Checked out.
Oh yeah,
Cancun on
completely.
three.
Watching that Giants game. Oh, and I'm gonna I'm gonna save this for a different episode because we have some games to go through. But I have an off-season thought of some things that need to change for this NFL, some rule changes or some thoughts on that I heard from a different show I listened to. I thought was brilliant, and it had to do with that Giants Raiders game where the
Hmm.
Raiders totally tanked it. Little teaser for everyone listening to pay attention to our off-season episodes because we're gonna get into some fun stuff. But next up, we have the Cardinals at the Rams. So the Rams basically are locked into where they're at, but I'm happy to hear that they're playing their starters. I think that's the right decision. I know it's injury concerns. I get it, but the Rams have been playing poorly of late. They need to get into a rhythm and at least play their starters like the first half. Make this like a preseason game where you look good. All right, let's call the dogs off. Let's get you guys on the sidelines. Make sure you don't get hurt because they've been playing that. I mean, they haven't been playing horribly, but it just hasn't been clicking.
It's
Like
not been good.
against the Falcons, they had to make a tremendous comeback to just barely lose because the first half was awful. And outside of that blocked field goal return by I think it was Jared Verse, would not have been a game against the Falcons and then that sideline catch that should have been a catch might have changed things, but still it wasn't good. So I'm glad that they're going to play their starters a little bit. It's at the Rams, and the Cardinals, they're kind of playing for a high seed in the draft as well. They're feisty though, so I think this could be a semi-competitive game, but the Rams, they're gonna win. I have them with a confidence of, let me see, where are they at? Of 12. I have a confidence of 12, but I think this is gonna be a little bit more competitive than it should be, probably because Rams are gonna bench their starter in the second half. And I love Jacob Brissett. I just love the guy. I can't get enough of him. He's awesome. I want him as a backup for the Vikings one day. But Rams should definitely win this game. I've said that a lot the past few weeks, and they keep losing. So I don't like it, but I'm going with a confidence of 12.
You just stole my thunder, Andrew. I was gonna go confidence of 12. So we can just move on to the next game. There's nothing else I'll add. That
Okay.
covers everything for me.
Okay. Next up, again, 2 o'clock game for that one seed, Patriots and Dolphins. Dolphins at the
Patriots,
Patriots.
definitely
Yeah.
gonna be
And
Patriots.
and again, since this is the same time as the Broncos, they're going to have to make sure they win this game because they have a chance to get that one seed. So, yep, I'm going Patriots. I think this is my 14. Yeah, this is my 14 confidence.
I want confidence of 11 only because of the fact the Dolphins could somehow have a surprising game here. I don't think
For
they
sure.
will. Crossing
Yeah.
my fingers that somehow Drake May throws three interceptions, just because I think that would be hilarious.
You
Um,
hear that, Dallin?
dude, I think that'd be so funny. Yeah, our friend Dallin posted something because the Patriots team just can't seem to stay out of trouble this week. So he posted a
Hmm.
meme about Drake May getting caught for the fact that he cheated on a test in seventh grade. Which, by the way, I hope it gets revealed to the Associated Press, and the Associated Press weighs in their factor of choosing Matt Stafford over Drake May. Um, yeah. Which, by the way, I'm bummed for Matt Stafford, man. I really am because I was firmly on the he does not deserve to be in the MVP conversation for a decent amount of this year. And then it flipped for me. I watched him enough to finally be like, you know what? I'm being a Scrooge on this. I'm not appreciating how incredible what he's accomplished. Which part of me is still torn only because of the fact he has way more touchdowns than Drake May. I mean, way more touchdowns.
Hmm.
That's nothing against Drake May's running ability. I'm not saying that. I was on the fence about whether Matt Stafford deserved to be in the Hall of Fame, and
Mm.
now I'm firmly in the you know what? No, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He has done enough. He deserves that recognition. So this was a big year for Matt Stafford.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is coming off him beginning the offseason with really bad back issues. And
Right.
I was like, ooh, I don't like this. And he changed that narrative quickly.
They must have put some like a metal rod in his back or something. I don't know what they
Hmm.
did. He has
What they
played
probably
amazing.
did is they put that MJ secret stuff from Space Jam, and he drank some of MJ's special stuff, and then he was having a great year all year. And then the stuff ran out these past two games. That's what it was. See, I figured it out.
Oh man, that Falcons game was tough.
Hmm.
Wow, like that was could not have gone much worse.
Yeah, and I was even more annoyed because Minnesota in the draft last year, they had like the 97 pick in the third round, and it came out in reports that they were looking at this guy, that they wanted him, Xavier Watts, but Atlanta picked him at pick 96. And so Minnesota at 97 traded down, and we ended up getting a receiver that's a punt gunner now, which is really silly to get in the third round. But it's just sad because we were one pick away, and you wish your GM will be a little bit more aggressive in trading up to get this player. And Xavier Watts has been a great safety for the Falcons.
Hmm.
And that is something that we really could use right now is some youth in our safety room. It's just he had two interceptions that game. I was like, if only you were in purple. Only you were in purple. But that's besides the point.
Can I
We
make
can
one other
move
hot
on.
take here?
Oh, yeah.
One other hot take. It's really disappointing that the NFL doesn't allow the Associated Press to vote after the playoffs for MVP. I think it
Hmm.
matters. I know that there'd be those that disagree with me, but I think the race between May and Stafford's been so close. I would love to factor in the postseason.
It's interesting. That's interesting. It is
Well,
a
because
regular season award, though.
I get it. I feel like that's not fair though, because like your worth is tied to the playoffs. Lamar Jackson's a perfect example. Congrats on getting two MVPs. What else have you done for your team? I don't know. I just
Yeah.
like if we factored the playoffs last year, would Saquon Barkley been the MVP? I think you would have had a strong case.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get it.
Maybe they need to add an
I
award. Maybe they had a playoff MVP.
maybe I just feel like I don't know, man. To be the MVP, you have to be in the playoffs. You do. Has there ever been a time in the past 25 years that a person has not been in the playoffs and been the MVP?
Probably not, because your regular season record does count.
So I just feel like why not factor in the playoffs? I feel like you should, and you owe it to the players because if you're not the most valuable player the entire season, I think that that's a bummer. Like I don't know. I understand it. I know I can see it work both ways. I just think in this
Hmm.
instance, for example, the race is so close still for me between May and Stafford that I would love to factor in the postseason. Because what if
I have
Stafford has an early exit and May has a deep playoff run? Like I think that further cements the wow, he really did deserve to be MVP. I don't know.
I have an idea. Since it's usually a quarterback award, the top two candidates should do like one of those like Pro Bowl games, QB versus QB, little like accuracy challenges to see who wins MVP.
I'd be cool with that. Yeah, I mean, I know it's May's award, man. I feel bad for Stafford. Like I really do.
Hmm.
Because like that this is his one chance. Like he will not get another
Yeah.
chance at MVP. But that's
No,
not
and
how it
Drake May is
works.
gonna have like 10 straight years of options to win it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, I hear you. I hear you. Well, we have three games left. We're gonna save the Eagles and Vikings games for last as always. So let's get to Sunday night football. Ravens and Steelers, like it was supposed to be for the division. This is at Pittsburgh, where they're going to be without DK Metcalf. So Aaron Rodgers has nobody to throw to. And he's going to look silly back there, hand off the ball to, Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell like 40 times and hope that they can win the game for him because he has to throw to Calvin Austin and Adam Thielen and Jonnu Smith and Pat Fryermuth. And the Ravens are hopefully going to do the right thing and give Derrick Henry the ball 30 plus times. If that's the case, if Derrick Henry gets the ball 30 plus times, Ravens win this game easily. If Derrick Henry gets handed the ball less than 20 times, Steelers win this game. That's how it's going to come down to. Because I don't understand why the Ravens get away from giving Derrick Henry the ball, but they tend to sometimes. That game against the Patriots, they stopped giving him the ball in the fourth quarter when it was a competitive game. Now, if you're losing by two or three touchdowns, okay, yeah, you're gonna not run the ball as much. But that game against the Patriots was competitive down to the wire, and they just stopped giving him the ball. I don't
Right.
get it. Even
It was weird.
even if you're getting stuffed for like 2 yards here, 3 yards there, it's Derrick Henry. He's gonna bust one eventually. You can't get away from it. So if the Ravens stick to the plan and give him the ball more, they will win this game. And Lamar Jackson's going to play, which, I mean, the jump from Lamar Jackson to Tyler Huntley isn't big, but it's still a little bit of a jump. He's better than Tyler Huntley. He hasn't been playing well this year, no. But overall, as a quarterback, he is better than Tyler Huntley. Much more talented, at least. Maybe not playing well this year, but he's still a better player. So, with all that said, I am going to go Ravens. I'm going to have them win this game. I only have this as a confidence of 2 because I don't have confidence in them, but I have less confidence in the Steelers. So I have the Ravens winning this division. I called this, I'm sticking with my call that I made like 10 weeks ago whenever the Ravens started winning and the Steelers started losing. I was like, hey, Ravens are going to win this division. I'm sticking to my guns here. I'm holding true to what I believed in. So I'm going Ravens with a confidence of 2.
I'm also going Ravens. I went with the confidence of 3 for my pick. Um, yeah, I don't know if there's much else I would add there, Andrew. I don't have faith in the Steelers right now. I really don't. I just
Yeah.
and like the DK Metcalf thing is just the epitome of this season. And also
Yeah.
doesn't even matter. They're still going to finish with a winning record, which is just so obnoxious. Um,
Right.
this team, like I just feel like that. Oh, what's the name of that guy from the Friday the 13th? Um, not Jason. It's what's the name of
Kruger?
that guy? Yeah,
Freddy Krueger?
uh-huh. But like they just cannot kill this guy. In terms of
Mm-hmm.
Mike Tomlin, they cannot find the reason to
Mm-hmm.
finally end this project, but it needs to end, man. It needs to end. It's
Mm-hmm.
run its course. They've hit the ceiling. They cannot get any higher. I mean, getting to the playoffs as a 9-8 team, it's not a playoff appearance, man. It's not. It's just
Yeah.
like the Panthers 9-8, if they do become 9-8 versus the Steelers 9-8, it would feel drastically different in terms of the momentum of each team. So I'm going to go with the Ravens, um, and we'll see what happens. But I'm very disappointed. This is the Sunday Night Football matchup. I've said this in our group chat, Andrew, but give me the Falcons and Saints and inject that to my veins for the Sunday Night Football matchup. That would have been fascinating. I would love the Tyler Shook discussion. I would love the Kirk Cousins discussion. But this is just meh. It's just meh for me.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you. All right. Let's get to the two most fun games. Let's get to the first one on the docket 11 a.m. or noon in some places. Packers at Vikings. So the Packers are playing all their third stringers. They're playing Clayton Tune against probably mostly first string Vikings defense. So I'll say this for Clayton Tune. He's going to want to show something. I mean, he's a third string quarterback that's getting a start. He's like, let me show what I can do. So he's probably going to have some decent throws, but he's going against a Brian Flores defense that's going to show some looks he's never seen before. Even though they're going in the film room and they're seeing what he does, once you get live action and the bullets are flying, you get confused. So he's going to hold the ball too long a lot. He's going to probably get sacked a handful of times, maybe a turnover or two, and it's not going to be a good night for him. And then on an offense for the Vikings, it sounds like JJ McCarthy's going to start, which I'm a fan of. There's a lot of people in the Vikings world that says just shut him down, why bother? And I was on the side of if it doesn't have any further injury risk and he can hold the ball, it's a good net positive to get him more reps. Now, if it is a potential that this could get even worse if he plays, then no, don't get him out there. But I haven't heard that that's the case. So he had a full practice on Thursday, so it sounds like he's going to go in this game, which I love. And I love what Kevin O'Connell said, which he says that they want to make sure they get Justin Jefferson the ball early and often, which is what they need to do. So I'm predicting he gets over 1,000 yards. He only needs 53, and I'm actually going to predict he gets that done in the first half. I'm going to say they get it done, maybe even the first quarter. I'm not going to go that far, but I wouldn't be surprised. They're going to target him early and often. He's going to get second and third stringers secondary. The Packers just picked up Trevon Diggs, but they're probably not even going to play him in this game. They're probably going to say, "Hey, let's just get you in this system, get you learning the playbook, all that stuff." Um, which that's a low key decent move for them because their secondary hasn't been all that great. So hey, congratulations on being the Green Bay, Cowboys because you have Micah Parsons and Diggs now. Um, they're teammates again. But I think Jefferson's probably going to get like over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns this game. I think he's going to go off. I think the Vikings kind of win this game fairly easily.
Hmm.
This is my confidence of 16. This is my 16 confidence because the
What?
Packers are playing their third stringers.
No,
What,
come
what do
on.
you what do you mean what? Have you
No,
seen the way
no.
the Vikings have been playing of
You're
late?
talking. You're telling me you're more confident that they're going to win than the Jaguars beating the Titans?
Well, the Titans are playing their first stringers. The
No, no. Wait,
Packers are playing
wait.
their
I'm not
third
done here.
stringers.
I'm not done here. That's the first option. Let's go through all the options here. You're more
Yes.
confident than that. You're more confident than the Texans beating the Colts, who are now relying on a crappy number three option who wasn't good enough to beat out Philip Rivers. You're
Yes.
more confident than the Broncos beating the Chargers, who have Trey Lance starting. You're
Much more
more
confident than
confident
that. Yes.
the Patriots, Dolphins, the Rams, Cardinals, even the
Much more.
Chiefs,
Oh, yes.
Raiders. No, come
Much
on,
more.
man.
Much
This
more.
is this is
This is
ridiculous.
this
No, no,
is
the Chiefs Raiders was the one that for you should have deserved the 16 discussion after everything you talked about the
mm-mm.
Raiders taking. Whatever.
Nope. This
You are
16
ridiculous.
for the Vikings. And
16. Get out of
and
here.
and I'm not gonna so I'm not gonna go to the woulda, shoulda, couldas. Like for example, there was a reporter that was saying that in that week 12 or week 13 game against the Bears, if the Vikings did give up that big return to DuVernay and the Bears kicked the field goal to win, if the Vikings win that game, and then the Lions beat the Bears this week and Minnesota wins against the Packers, Minnesota wins the division. I'm not going that far. I'm not going all the way down those woulda, coulda,
Wait, what?
shouldas. Yeah, so
That's a lot of
it's
shoulda,
a
woulda,
lot of
couldas.
math. Yeah, it's a lot of math. So if the Vikings beat the Bears, if they don't give that big return to DuVernay, they beat the Bears that week,
Okay,
and
they
then the
dropped
Vikings win
to
against
10
the
and 6.
Packers, and then the Bears lose to the Lions this week, the Vikings win the division. That's a lot of what a good shot. I'm not going that far because even if, let's say, the Vikings did give up that big return to DuVernay, the Bears have been fourth quarter miracle workers all year long. There's a high chance they still march down the field on offense and get in field goal range and win that game, even without that big return. It's very, very possible. So I'm not
Mhm.
even going that far. I'm going to go all the way back to what day was this? What's the date on this? I'm not sure. This was, I think, week 3 or week 4. Green Bay at Dallas, and this was overtime. Dak Prescott running to the end zone and gets tripped up by Micah Parsons for a sack. And instead of scoring a touchdown, they kick a field goal. And then the Green Bay Packers go and kick a field goal and they end in a tie. If Dak Prescott could have had a one speed increase on his Madden rating and he gets in the end zone and the Cowboys win that game instead of tying it, this game on Sunday is for that last wild card
Yeah, it's for the
spot.
playoffs.
And that's the way it should be. Come on, Dak. Get a little bit faster here. Get a little bit faster in your speed. Don't let Micah Parsons trip you from behind. Come on, bro. You're the reason. Dak Prescott is the reason that Minnesota can't play for a playoff spot this week. And if this was for a
Did you just
playoff
say
spot,
that they're the reason? That he's the
Dak
reason?
Prescott is.
No, he's
Yes.
not. This sounds
Yes.
just like the Buccaneers and the eventual Saints loss. Like, if it wasn't for the Falcons, no, don't do this. Don't do this, Andrew. You're better than
You
this.
you know I kid. You know I kid. Um, but let's this had been so much fun if the Packers had to play their starters this week. If they had to play their starters, this would have been an interesting game. I don't know which way I would have picked. I would have picked the Vikings because it's my heart, but the Packers have the better overall team if starters against starters. So it'll have been really fun because it's at Minnesota too. But unfortunately, we don't get to have that. But yes, I'm going for this game with Viking starters against third string Packers. I'm going Vikings confidence of 16.
Wow. Okay. All right. I mean, I want the Vikings confidence of 8, but my confidence is divided by half of yours. So, um, good for you, Andrew. That's crazy. I'm glad you're so confident in your team. Should we get to the last game of the week?
Let's get to the last game. Let's get to Eagles and Commanders. So it's Tanner McKee versus, is it
Josh
Mariota?
Johnson. No,
Johnson. Yeah, just Johnson. Yeah,
that's what I've been hearing all week is Josh
that's
Johnson will be the
that's fun. Yeah, that's a ton of fun. Um, are the Eagles playing the rest of their starters, or are they basically benching everybody?
I don't know how many stars are playing. That's kind of up in the air right now. I haven't heard.
Yeah,
Um,
like AJ Brown, Saquon, those guys.
I think that they would be out of the game. The part that's
Hmm.
interesting is Devontae Smith. You talk about stats for Justin Jefferson. Devontae Smith needs 44 yards, just 44 to get to 1,000.
Yeah, and
I
AJ
think
Brown
it's
just passed 1,000. So you have two
yeah.
guys in 1,000 yards. That'd be big.
So I think Brown is going to be out. I think Barkley will be out. But I mean, you have Tank Bixby, so I think we'll be just fine
Hmm.
running back with Tank Bixby starting. Um, so the offensive line is my biggest question. If we have
Mm.
enough backups playing that aren't good enough, that will be a problem. But we'll see. I haven't heard how many starters are playing, so wait and see. Dallas Goedert will be out. I'm assuming because of how nicked he's been over the past few weeks. Like he's played, but he's been playing nicked up.
Hmm.
So uh, I'm so excited for Tanner McKee, Andrew. I know I've talked about it a lot, and you're already rolling your eyes over there because of how much we talked about Tanner McKee, but he has been very, very good for the Eagles. Um, like last year, he played against both the Dallas Cowboys and the Giants, and he got 2 touchdowns at each game. He averaged a 117 passer rating last year. So this guy has potential. I'm super excited for the Mormon missile. That is what his teammates call him to get out there to be in action. Um, if Josh Johnson wasn't starting at quarterback, I think this would be more of a game, and I don't
Hmm.
think the Eagles would win. But because Josh Johnson is projected to start,
Hmm.
I don't predict that offense to be able to move much. So I'm going to go with the Eagles with a confidence of 7.
Hey, I'm pretty much in the same spot. I have Eagles confidence of 8.
I just think it's a
Um,
disappointment, Andrew. This isn't your
yeah.
confidence of 15 game.
Well, it's because you guys are playing your backups. If the Vikings are playing their backups, I'd be right there with you. But we're
I
playing our
know.
starters.
I just still think that that is so high to put him at 8. That a confidence of 16. That is crazy to me.
So the team that shut down the Lions and eliminated from the playoffs last week and are an extended rest,
It's
that's
fair.
crazy.
These are all great points. Those are great points. I just feel like 16 is very high. That's what I'll say. It feels very high to put them at 16. But hey, when we come back on this podcast and they thoroughly destroyed and devoured the third stringers of the Packers, you can rub it in my face.
There'll be nothing to rub in because the Vikings missed the playoffs and the Packers are already in.
Well, I mean, to be honest, man, it for the Packers, I don't think they're going to be a second round playoff team. I think that they have reached their ceiling. Some of it's injuries, but some of it is definitely just they have flattened
Yeah.
out. I mean, that
Yeah.
Bears Packers game was crazy how they just let that get away from them.
I know. I know. They are in
And
control.
then to follow that up with the Ravens game, I mean, I know that you could mention the Malik Willis injury and it's valid, but like that team just fell apart. Like
Hmm.
it just is crazy, crazy.
They couldn't stop Derrick Henry.
Yeah, yep,
Well, week 18, we're here. Next time we're on this podcast, we're going to be talking about playoffs,
yep.
and it's going to be a lot of fun. Well, that's all I had for this wonderful regular season.
Andrew, this has been fun, man. I'm glad we've done this. The confidence picks have
Yeah.
been awesome. It's been one of my favorite parts
Yeah.
of the podcast, and
Hmm.
yeah, I'm glad I could say I won something.
You got first place in this for sure. You've had
Yeah,
first place locked up for weeks now.
loved it, man. It's been one of the best
Hmm.
experiences. I will forever hold this over a barrel against Dallin and Steven.
Hmm. And hey, like I said, I have a chance, not a great chance, but a chance to sneak up to second, depending on how they all picked. If they had bad weeks, It could be us 1-2. Very well could
Yeah,
be.
we'll see what happens. I love it.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us this week in the Gridiron Grind. Thank you, Lance. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and we will see you next time.
We'll see everybody.